Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Exciting announcement for all of my listeners. I've officially opened my exclusive group, the ProjectME Passive Income Posse, to the public. This group is by application only, so we can keep the group high vibe and spend our time, energy, and expertise only helping those of you who truly want massive success and impact. You get live weekly trainings from me, special guest coaches, and direct access to me and my business partner for all of your questions. To learn more and apply, go to projectmewithtiffany.com, click on Work With Me, and select ProjectME Posse. And of course, any questions, feel free to DM me at ProjectME with Tiffany. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and posse. I'm your host, Tiffany, and today I'm going to share with you the game-changing secret to converting strangers into paying clients. And I for sure know this is something that you have not heard before. What many of you think, and not by any judgment of mine, it's just because you've not been, taught a different way, or maybe you learned a certain way in school or from, a job that you had. What most people think is to convert a stranger into paying clients, right? You have to keep being repetitive and keep calling them and keep sharing with them and keep contacting them and convince them and why it's so important to work with you and sell. And that's why so many of you have resistance to sharing your services and your products and your gifts with the world, because you don't want to sell. You don't want to be pushy. You don't want to be annoying. You don't want to have to feel like you're convincing someone, because that energy feels so gross and sleazy and annoying and irritating. And I completely agree. So when I was in my corporate position in pharmaceutical sales, I interviewed with 50 companies before I got hired. A very hard industry to get into. And I was so grateful I got in with a great company. They invested so much time and energy, $100,000 even back then per employee is invested in high level, not just sales strategy training, but like your mindset training. And, I worked for Merck, which is still just an incredible, honorable, high integrity pharmaceutical company. I went through all this training. They put you up in a hotel. You're there for 10 weeks. It's intense. It's crazy. I almost felt like you're going to like a crash course in pharmacy school, because you have to learn all the science, but then they have the mindset. I had semi-privates with Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar. Craziness, just incredible. A full library of books, just amazing. Even with all of that, when it was time for me to go in the field and actually do my job and go, as they say in the industry, go call on physicians, like go make sales calls, like go to your accounts that you're being paid to go to and go call on them. Terrified, so much anxiety, sweat through my shirt. We had to wear like a full-on suit, like pantsuit, skirt suit. So my shirt underneath would be drenched. My face would start sweating. I had to start carrying deodorant in my purse, deodorant in my car, because that was like my stress response. I felt so uncomfortable and gross and out of integrity, and just out of alignment, like with the thought of selling. Like I was like, oh my God, how annoying. they're going to find me so annoying coming in there. I'm bothering them. I don't want to irritate these people. They're so busy. And then here I'm coming in and it seems so self-serving and obnoxious. And I had this whole thing going through my head, even though I went through all of this training and I was not doing well. And, to the point where I had that, lovely conversation that was had by my boss. And I was like, I knew I wasn't doing well. I was in tears. I was tripping. And I knew if I wanted to keep this job and pay my rent, I had to get my shit together. And I had to figure out a way that I could sell in a way that felt good to me, where I was happy doing it, excited to do it, where I felt like I was being of service to do it. And I just remember I was like, God, I have to come up with a way. Obviously with staying within the rules, and my obligations as an employee, because there's a lot of rules when you are in certain industries like finance, pharmaceuticals, etc. But it had nothing to do with the rules or what I could say or couldn't say. It was my whole energy around it. It was my whole belief system around it. And even though I went through all that training, there was no sales belief training. And this is where my now well-known emotional-based sales techniques were born. I didn't have a name for it and didn't package it then, but this is where they were born. So I figured out a way for it to feel good to me, and I focused on my ideal client. Now, my ideal clients were already spelled out for me, right? They were certain doctors and certain specialties who saw certain patients. But I focused on the patient, not even the doctor I was calling on. But I focused still a little bit on them, like the needs that, they had, but their patient needs. Because if I focused on their patient's needs and their patient's emotions, and then I made the person helping those patients, I made their jobs easier and were helpful to them, the trickle-down effect was amazing, and more people would get better treatment, have symptom relief, even be cured. And that warmed my heart, and that excited me, and that got me up every morning going, no, there's people whose lives are on the line with these drugs that I'm sharing with them and the different studies and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I focused on that and being of service versus selling versus my own agenda of, oh my God, how many prescriptions? They have to write so many prescriptions because that's how you're paid. They have to write so many prescriptions. And if they don't, I'm going to get fired. Instead of focusing on that, I threw it all out the window. I stopped looking at my numbers. I still operate this to this day. I am aware of numbers. I look at them monthly. I will look at numbers, right? Because that's being a good steward of your money and a good business owner. But I don't sit there and obsess daily over numbers, weekly over numbers. You're in corporate America. They'll give you daily numbers, weekly numbers. Network marketing companies, I know, give weekly numbers. I don't focus on my number of followers per week, my number of podcast downloads per week. I do look at it per month, again, to be a good steward of my money, my business, my efficacy, all that stuff. So I threw that out the window and focused on service, focused on building rapport with my ideal clients, with those, and in this case, those patients I served. So this is the game-changing secret for any business you're in. You could be in real estate. This could be a current job you're in that you don't even really like. This could be for you're a coach, you're a network marketing, whatever it is. Focus on your ideal client and getting to know them on a level that is on par with how well you know your best friend. That's how well I want you to care, love, and pour into that person. So I want you to go what are they experiencing? What do they need from me? What problems are they facing? What kind of thoughts are they having on a bad day? What kind of thoughts are they having on a good day? What would they find funny? What would they find helpful? What would they find useful? What would make them feel seen, heard, supported, and understood? That is how well you need to know your ideal client, which is why I have all of you guys name your ideal clients And I tell you guys, which a lot of you blow it off, but I tell you to even cut out a picture from a magazine or print one out from online of what you visualize your ideal client looking like. You might, if you already have had clients, right, you already might have a picture of your ideal client. No one has to know in the outside world your ideal client's name or that you have a picture of them on your desk. It just helps humanize them for you and remind you, like, this is the person I'm to be focusing on, not 25 people, not 2,500 people, this one person, just like you focus on your BFF, right? When you see a funny meme on Instagram, when it's one, oh my God, I have to DM that to my BFF, like she'll die, right? You know what she'll find funny. You already know when some shit happens or someone says something to you, you already know how your BFF would reply to that. You already know how she would feel about it. You already know her insecurities. You already know what she struggles with. You already know the things she loves about herself, the things she hates about herself, the things she wished she had in her life, the things she wished she didn't have in her life. You already know this. And I'm saying she just generically, right? She, he, him, her, whatever. I'm just using that as a placeholder. You fill it in with whatever you want. But I want you to know that person that well, if you care. If you don't care, then you're not going after the right thing. But I found a way to care even when I was in corporate America. I found a way to care because I cared about those patients. And I cared about the doctors too, but not enough where it made me excited and my soul felt good, right? It was the patients. Which is funny because I think Merck's tagline is, I'm 99% sure because they drilled it into us, is patients first, profit second. And they really stand behind that. I know I sound like I'm doing a commercial for them, but they really stand behind that. That is very, very true. Now I think about it in real time, isn't that funny? Even though that was drilled into us, especially in training, that didn't come to me until I just thought about it now. I love when that happens when I'm on a podcast with you. It's like, oh, I have an epiphany. That happened didn't that happen last week too? Where I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. I just had this realization. This is why it's so important, I think, to share and talk out loud and do videos, podcasts, write posts, because we also learn so much about ourselves too in doing all of that. But when you really, really care about somebody, you know all their things. So that's your job to do this with your ideal client. Now, a lot of people will say back to me, well, Tiffany, how do I do that? This isn't actually like a specific person. This isn't my friend Tanya, who, we go way back, like that's in the flesh. Like I actually, know her, right? This is almost like a fictitious representative of my ideal client. Well, you've got to trick your brain. You've got to make her your imaginary friend. My ideal client is Sally Sandabs. Sally Sandabs is an imaginative representation of all of you listening right now. This is why my content, my topics, my titles, my services, my products that I sell, why they resonate and why you guys are attracted to it and connect with it is because I'm speaking right to you, because I know you, because of how much time and energy I've spent learning about Sally Sandabs and how much I adore her and love her and care about her and want the best for her. And it's a representation, right? I have male clients. Don't take it so literally is what I'm trying to say. It's a representation. It's more of the feelings, the reactions, the needs, the longing for. That's how deeply you need to know your ideal client. Then all the stuff starts coming easily. It takes time to learn this and massage this, just like it does with an in-person real life friendship. That you might have a connection with someone off the start, but it takes time to really build a trusting, lasting friendship, to really get to know someone, the ins and outs of that person. So it takes time to get to learn your ideal client. So be patient with it. and enjoy that process. That's like a fun process of really getting to know somebody that you really care about and you enjoy. That's some of the best beauty of it. That's why I love, spending 2 hours every single day, 7 days a week inside my DMs on Instagram, learning about you guys, answering your questions, talking to you guys, joking with you guys. I love it. I'm not going to stop doing that. I absolutely love doing that. That is how I keep myself connected, keep getting to know you better, understand you better, and therefore serve and support you at my best possible capacity. Because that is what I'm here to do. That is my job. That is my duty. That is what I'm here to do for you guys. That's the job of ProjectME with Tiffany Carter. So I want you to start doing that as of like yesterday. And then your content, your videos, your products, your services, it's not going to be so hard for you to name things. You're not going to go, God, what should I talk about today? I don't know what to talk about. Oh, I feel awkward. I'm not really sure what to say. Are you really at a loss for words ever with your best friend? Even the shyest of you and the most awkward introverted of you? No, you're not. That is how well you need to know your ideal client. And then when you get on video, or even when you're going on live video, I want you just to focus on talking to your ideal client. When I go to record a video, it's not like the shit's mapped out months in advance. It's just not over here. Okay? I will drop in, I'll close my eyes, I'll take a deep breath, and I'll ask, okay, what does Sally Sandabs need from me today? What does she need from me? And I trust what comes up. Sometimes what comes up is, she needs like tangible strategy. Like she needs to she's in that mode. Like she needs that. Okay, what kind of tangible strategy is she, kind of struggling with and really could, find useful? Some days she's exhausted and feels lost and is drowning in the heaviness of what's going on in the world and needs to know that she's not alone, because she's really starting to feel like she is, or that she's too sensitive, or she's too, empathetic and too compassionate to be cut out to have her own business or whatever. So then I talk about that. It's actually easy for me. Was it easy at first? No, it wasn't easy at first. Just like it's not easy at first to know where to go to dinner with someone you just met. You don't know what it is they like, what they don't like. But then once you get to know them, it doesn't take that long, especially when you care and you put effort into it. You'll go to a place and pick up food and you'll be like, oh my God, Sally Sandabs would totally love this place. She loves like cute hole in the wall places with like little twinkly lights outside, right? You'll know exactly. That's the game-changing secret. You do not need to sit here and sell in that way you're thinking of. I want you to share. Your job is to share to her. Share about what you have and how that's going to help her, how that's going to serve her, support her, help her grow, get her to where she wants to be in her life. That is the game-changing secret. Then what happens is energetically, your whole vibe changes. You become lighter. You don't have that weird, awkward, kind of intense, robotic, desperate energy about you. Your shoulders have dropped. You end up having more fun with your content, whether it's online or in person. You have more of an assured sense of yourself. There's a better kind of almost like an understated quiet confidence, because you know who you're serving and you can serve them and you're meant to serve them and you're here to help. And all you need to do is keep reminding them of that and be supportive and share, and they will come. The Sally Sandabs come. I mean, I don't know the name of your ideal client, but my Sally Sandabs, it's without a doubt they come. You know that I'm not always, right? Am I always shouting, you guys need to do this and you need to buy this for me and this is why? No, I don't need to. But for me to not say anything would be crazy. That wouldn't be of service. Of course, I have to share what I have to offer. And if you are still not feeling quite confident about how to tap into this and how to really access and design and develop your relationship with your ideal client and to select a profitable niche that matches that, you don't have to figure this out on your own. That's why I opened more time and date slots for my 90-minute private coaching. Just book a 90-minute session with me, and then we'll nail it down instead of you spending days and days and weeks, and some of you months and months, struggling to figure it out, waiting for some magical clarity. Well, let's nail it down. It's funny. The answer's already inside of you. A lot of my answers are already inside of me, but I need someone else who's skilled to help pull it out and refine it for me. So most all the time, that's what you need. I mean, no one's ever been done with a 90-minute call from me and has been like, oh God, I didn't get anything out of it. It's like, oh, I want more of that. Oh my God, this was even more helpful than I thought. So all you need to do that, to book that, there's no application needed for my 90-minute private coaching sessions. For my 2-month exclusive business coaching program, yes, that's application only. But for the 90-minute calls, no application. You can go straight to booking and just go to ProjectMeWithTiffany.com and go to work with me, or you can just go to the link in my bio on Instagram at ProjectMeWithTiffany. So it's easy access in both ways. Feel free to DM me with any of your questions. And if you found this episode enlightening and helpful in any way, if you've been blowing off and putting off writing a 5-star written iTunes review for me, you suck. And please do it. Don't put it off another day. This is what grows the damn show. And I love reading all of them. That's great. But this is what grows the show and keeps it going. I mean, downloads are very important too, but we need those written 5-star iTunes reviews. It takes 90 seconds. Go and do it. As long as you include your name or your Instagram handle inside your review and you DM me, I treat you to a coffee drink of your choice or protein drink or smoothie of your choice just for doing it. So I do that to show my gratitude and respect for your time of taking 90 seconds to do it. But this show is packed full of free value, but it's not free to produce. So that's all I'm asking for in return is for that 5-star written iTunes review. If you're not sure how to do it, you can Google it. You can literally type in, how do I write an iTunes podcast review? And what will pop up are literally 5 simple steps to do it. And you can even get a YouTube video showing you exactly how to do it visually. Isn't that amazing? All right. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate all of my listeners, my new listeners, my longtime listeners. You guys make this all so much more fun and so worth it to me. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.